Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to review the 4 financial touch points that I wish I knew before I opened my practice. So a lot of owners miss this when they open. And if you're anything like me, you opened and your strategy was just to hustle and hustle and hustle. Well, if you stay tuned, watch this video to the end, you'll learn these 4 strategies so you can learn how to create a lot more time, money, and energy back into your practice and into your life. So let's start with number 1. Over-the-counter collections. Did you know that over-the-counter collections in your practice, if you're an in-network practice, it's going to be around 30% of your revenue is going to be generated with over-the-counter collections. And here's the thing that I learned. It's not just about collecting the money at the time of service. Although that's really, really important. It really is important. It's more about developing the system so that happens predictably and reliably, and training your team on how to report that to you on a regular cadence, right? So as you grow and become a better CEO, it's not about doing the thing. It's about developing the system that empowers others to do the thing for you. So if you're anything like me, I remember when I opened my practice, I was terrified to collect over-the-counter collections because of a few reasons. Number 1, I was scared that patients were going to be upset. I needed new patients, right? I just needed new patients so that I can have them in the door and they can give me an opportunity to show them how much I cared and how much of an impact I can make in their life. I was fearful that I didn't want to confront the money objections that they might have, in the fear that I might lose them, they might leave, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to create that value in their life and show them that it was worth the money. And that led to some problems. So I did that for about 1.5 years. And whenever I got to a place where I was really, really busy, I realized I wasn't making any money, right? I was working my butt off, treating a bunch of patients. We were actually seeing, I think, over 100 visits a week at that time, maybe 125, 130 visits a week. And my margins were razor thin. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So through hiring a coach and learning more about how to run a business, I realized it wasn't just about the over-the-counter collections, but that was a huge bottleneck in my financial department, right? So meeting with my biller, hiring a coach, diving into my personal finances and looking at the systems that we had in place, which were none, at the front desk, I realized we had hundreds of thousands of dollars in outstanding patient AR. And guess what? We never received that money. That was money that was never received by me. And till this day, it's still sitting in my AR and we will never receive it. So it became a challenge because I couldn't really go after the money aggressively because I never held the patients accountable to collecting that money in the first place, right? So I never made that strong agreement. So it was just bad business principles in general. I wasn't creating agreements with my patients. I was letting fear run my decision-making process, and it led to me being broke, overworked, underpaid, and underfulfilled. So here's what I want you to do. Don't make the mistake that I made. Instead, track your over-the-counter collections every single day. Everybody is responsible for ensuring that over-the-counter collections are there, but there's only one person accountable, and that's your front desk person. So we want to create a system in which we can measure every single day what is projected to be collected for the day. If you have 10 appointments on the schedule, and each person you've verified their insurance, you know that each person owes you $10 over the counter. At the end of the day, you should see $100, assuming everybody shows up, you should see $100 in the money bag. This is a very simplistic approach, but I'm just giving you a framework that you can use to input your own system into your practice, right? So perhaps there's a spreadsheet or some type of reporting mechanism where your front desk person will report to you every single day what patients checked in, what they owed, and what they paid. And if you compare what was owed and what was paid, it should equal 100% every single day. And if you do that and you hold your finger on the pulse of that front desk collection rate, you will see massive improvements in the bottom line. All right, touch point number 2 is all about billing and coding. And here's why it's important. If you or your clinical team are not educated and don't understand the importance of billing and coding effectively, then you are probably leaving a lot of money on the table. The truth is, like we all know, not all codes are created equal. Some are timed, some are untimed. Some reimburse at a higher rate, some reimburse at a lower rate. Some insurances will allow you to bill certain codes, some insurances will not. So billing and coding efficiency is a system that we have to improve inside of our practice. And here's the thing, it's one thing for you to understand what that is. fantastic. But if you're the only person on your team who understands how to leverage billing and coding efficiencies in the practice, then that's a problem, especially if you have 5, 6, 7, 8 providers on your team. So the key is to equip your team with the information that you have, right? So we have to go back, we have to review our claims, we have to review all the insurances and create some type of tool and resource that educates our team on a day-to-day basis how to deliver care in a financially profitable way, right? So equipping them with that tool and revisiting that training on a week-by-week and month-by-month basis will massively increase your bottom line. And here's a pro tip. Once you solidify that training and you have that rolled out to your team and everybody's on board, you can insert that into your onboarding process for all new hires so that every new clinician that comes into your team is oriented in best practices of billing. They know how to do it ethically, legally, in the most financially profitable way. That way, you can ensure that you're getting paid the most for the care that you're delivering. So this was me. I didn't have this in place, when I was going back and auditing my financial revenue cycle. I didn't have it in place. My strategy was like, hey, get as many units as you can, right? And I didn't know what type of units, I didn't know when, I didn't know how, what happens if patients overlap, there's Medicare guidelines that you have to be familiar with. And I didn't fully understand how to do that well. And therefore I wasn't able to deliver that to my team in a meaningful way. So the first step that I had to take was I had to educate myself. I had to work with a compliance person, my billing team, to see what are we getting reimbursed? I had to break everything down by insurance company. How much were we getting paid for TheraX? How much were we getting paid for TheraAct? What was manual therapy? What happens if we build manual therapy and TheraAct together? What did that look like, right? And I was able to break that down and create a financial projection off of every single one of those scenarios. And that opened up massive amounts of clarity and understanding for me. And from there, I was able to take that information, put it on paper in a way that was useful for my team. I gave them a tool, I gave them resources, and then we started orienting them on best practices. Because here's the thing, your clinical team, the job of your clinical team is to deliver care in a top-notch way and provide an unmatched patient experience for every single patient that comes through that door. But also, we want them to do that in a way that's financially profitable, both for them and the business. And if we don't teach them what that looks like, then they're never going to understand how they can make an impact for you and your business. So once I was able to deliver that to my team, I was able to empower them. And before you knew it, not only did the amount of units we were billing change, obviously they went up because we were able to capture more units in an ethical way, but my revenue per visit started going up, right? And if you combine collecting from insurance, if you increase that by 5 or 10%, and then you can increase your over-the-counter collections by 5 or 10%, you might even make some money, right? So now you're starting to manage the financial touch points like a CEO would, and you're able to drive more profitability into your practice so that you can make a bigger impact and create more opportunities for you and your team. All right, so touch point number 3 is going to be holding your billing and collections team accountable. This one's important, and it's not one that I fully appreciated until later in my practice owner journey. Here's the thing, where you have billing in-house or whether you're outsourced, you want to manage that billing team the very same way. Even though this is maybe an outsourced team, you're still the CEO of that company and they work for you. So we want to manage them as if they worked for us, okay? There's a few really important things that we want to consider when we're managing any department in our team, especially the billing department. Number 1, having a regular meeting cadence with your billing department, whether that's a monthly biller meeting, a weekly biller meeting, twice a week. Whatever the case is, establish a standing meeting rhythm with that billing department, and it's a non-negotiable. It's blocked off on your calendar, and during that time, you are fully engulfed in the performance of your revenue cycle and particularly the billing and collections side of your revenue cycle. The second thing you want to do is have an agenda for that meeting, right? So what are you going to talk about, right? Don't just show up with loose talking points and no clear direction. Have an agenda. Have very specific outcomes that you're looking to get from that meeting. Specifically, what stats are you measuring and what key decisions are you making from those statistics? You want to show up powerfully and in control of that meeting with very clear outcomes that you're looking to get. And when you can hold them your billing and collection team accountable and they understand what you need, you'll start to see the needle start to move and the performance will start going up and to the right. So billing and collections is a monster, right? And so it may be worth outsourcing things in the beginning, but like I mentioned, like whether you're outsourced or you have it in-house, measure the key statistics that matter. The key statistics are going to be the financial data that you need to make good decisions. You need information to make good decisions. And without that information, it's going to be really hard to be confident and drive your company forward. Some of the statistics that you might want to consider measuring in that meeting are gross revenue collected, average revenue per visit, over-the-counter collections percentages. You might want to consider what your projections are going to be month to month, and also what you are collecting versus what you are projecting. And if you measure that on a trend and not just a snapshot, but have a trending 3-month rhythm of data, the stats will start to tell you the story that you need so you can start driving execution in your business. Okay, lastly, but definitely not least, there's one more person on your financial team that we don't always remember about. And that's called your accountant. What your accountant can do is help you establish budgets inside your business. As I mentioned, if you don't have hard guardrails on anything in life, you're going to surpass them, right? So if you don't have hard budgets in each department of your business, you're going to outspend yourself. Remember the last time you bought like too many Oreos and you put them in the pantry? What happened? They all got ate. Right? Because you didn't have a budget on your Oreos account and you just had Oreos there to spend. And whenever you felt like eating Oreo, you just ate it. And that's exactly what happens to your money. So you have to have hard boundaries on what you can afford and what you can't afford so that you can ensure that money ends up where it belongs and it's in your household, right? So having budgets is vital. The other thing is, don't forget to show up powerfully and be a CEO with your accountant. That is your meeting. You should show up and have a regular meeting rhythm with your accountant and your bookkeeper to review profit and loss statements and to establish and audit every single budget that's inside your business. So if you're anything like me, or like I was in the beginning, what my strategy, my financial department strategy was work as hard as I could. And on the first or second of the month, look in the bank and see how much money I had left over. And if I had more money, good. If I had less money, bad. But here's the problem. I didn't always have as much money as I thought I should. And it definitely didn't align with how hard I was working. And so what I didn't understand was why, right? And so instead of telling myself my model was broken, this industry is messed up and we can't win in this industry, or something was wrong with my team, the truth was I didn't have the information that I needed, right? And so instead of being emotional, what I needed to do was get more objective. And the person with all the data is your accountant. And so what I did is I started establishing monthly meetings with my accountant. And the objective of that meeting was teach me how to review a profit and loss statement. Teach me how much money I should be spending on payroll. Teach me how much money I should be budgeting for marketing, and teach me how much money I should be budgeting for X, Y, Z. And once we did that and we started developing that rhythm, I started learning how to manage my finances better. And if I can learn how to manage my finances, then I can make sure everybody wins in the business, including me, and not just my team or my patients. So if you don't have a standing meeting with your accountant, get one. Press pause right now, call your accountant and tell them that you need a standing 1-hour meeting, whether that's monthly, weekly, or whatever. I would recommend starting with at least monthly. Hey guys, by the way, if you are a practice owner and you're looking to learn how to create a business that supports the life that you really want, please check out our website, ppoclub.com, where what we do is we empower owners like you to believe in yourself so you can see how powerful you really are. So guys, there you have it. Those are the 4 financial touch points. If you break those financial touch points down into smaller components and you dive and you zoom into each of those departments and you create 1 to 3 action items that can just move the needle a little bit in the right direction, I promise you, you can create a model and a business that's financially abundant for you, for your team, for your patients, that supports your household and supports the life that you really want to live. I hope this video brought you tons of value. I'm going to start bringing out more videos like this. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up, share this video with a colleague, and go create some money and some freedom for you and your business. I'll see you next time.